Do you smell that? It's week 4 of the NFL season, and we are here to get you ready for the DraftKings slate this weekend. In this video, we're going to go over 8 to 10 players that are under $5,500 that you could potentially put into your lineup to save you some serious cash. I know you want to go get those high-priced guys. You want to get the Stephon Diggs. You want to get the Josh Allens. You might want to get Christian McCaffrey. You want to go get those high-priced guys. So here's some money, penny-pinching, saving tips for you in your lineup.
This is Allaqcess, your home for fantasy sports talk.
Yes, and now if you've been here before, you've heard me say it 1,000 times. I love playing 50-50 double-ups, and I love playing smaller limited entry tournaments. So I'm looking for those 3 entry max in single entry tournaments. That's just my personal preference. Play how you want to play. As always, with every player that we identify in any of our videos, we're looking for 4 times player value. So if that player is worth $5,000 in DraftKings, I essentially want to get 20 points out of him. Now, I know that isn't always possible, but that's our goal, because if $50,000 can get us 200 points, that is cashing every single week, and that is money. Now, last week was a little rocky for us. There's no denying that, but we did have some wins with Curtis Samuel. We talked about Russell Gage. I was high on Trevor Lawrence. We were really big on, and then Greg Dortch. I and many others were high on, so we totally understand that. And then we did have some misses with Sanders, McKinnon, Likely, and Hayden Hurst. They just were some long shot darts that we decided to throw at the wall to see what stuck, and unfortunately, none of those amounted. Much more confident this week. Wait until the end of the video to find out how you can win a $20 Millionaire Makers ticket funded by Allaqcess. So just watch until the end of the video, find out how you can enter, or if you want to skip ahead, hit the thumbs up, and then scroll down and find it in more info. But come back for the video, baby. Starting things off with the running back, as always, Breece Hall at $5,400 going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I expect there to be a decent amount of rain and wind in this game, so a lot of these northeastern games probably not going to have as much passing as we would like, and Breece Hall could be the guy that gets used. He is used in the shorter passing game and gets handoffs. At $5,400, I like his involvement against the Steelers. Geno Smith against the Detroit Lions at $5,400. I'm probably not the only one that you're going to see talking about this one this week, because this is an insanely cheap stack, and you'll see that on our studs and stacks video. But his pass attempts per game are increasing. He continues to get his weapons involved in DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. I look for that to continue. A lot of people are mentioning even Noah Fant, as the Detroit Lions haven't been great against the tight end. Geno Smith could surprise some people. $5,400, we're looking for 15 to 20 points, and that's right in his wheelhouse of possibility. Travis Etienne, $5,400 against the Philadelphia Eagles. And again, another guy who's the running back 1A, 1B for his team, just like Breece Hall. He's going to get involved. Philadelphia Eagles are probably, arguably, one of the top 2 or 3 best teams in the league right now, and that defense is no joke. To slow down that pass rush, I look for Trevor Lawrence to distribute the ball early and often, although I do love James Robinson, and you've heard me say his name a million times. This is the first time we've mentioned Travis Etienne in one of our videos, because I think this week he gets involved in the shorter, quick passing game to slow down some of those outside linebackers and defensive pressure. Garrett Wilson, $5,400 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, he falls just under that $5,500 threshold, and this one does come with an asterisk, because I said weather will play an issue or will play a part in this game. Now, if it looks like it's just going to be a little windy, I'm fine playing Garrett Wilson. If it looks like it's going to be rainy, very windy, wet ball, sloppy field conditions, I'm going to reel it back in on Garrett Wilson. So I don't love this play right now, but I am identifying it as something that I could be interested in. This team has attempted a ton of passes. He has 32 targets on the season. That is massive volume. I don't see it slowing down unless weather prevents the quarterback from throwing. Okay, so I did cheat a little bit in this one, but it's okay to cheat. The hardest working athletes in the gym, they have their cheat meals. This is mine, okay? Rashad Bateman at $5,600 against Buffalo. Yes, there is weather concern, because it's one of those northeastern games with Hurricane Ian making its way up the coast. The Bills' defense is still hurting. They're going to want to shut down Lamar Jackson, just as they want to shut down any running quarterback. And I think Rashad Bateman in the open field is absolutely dangerous. We don't need Rashad Bateman to have 13 targets, 10 receptions for 110 yards and a touchdown. Rashad Bateman shines when he only has 3 grabs, right? He's done it like twice this year already. 2 grabs, 75 yards, and a touchdown. And you still get 15 to 18 points out of that. I'm okay with Rashad Bateman getting 4 receptions for 50 yards or 60 yards and a touchdown, because again, that gets me to 3 or 4 times my points per value, and at $5,600 against a banged up defensive back situation for Buffalo, I absolutely love this play pending the weather. Now, if you are as concerned about the weather as I am and you want to know some of these late bloomers, injury reports, and weather concerns, I give that to you on Patreon. So a lot of you have gone above and beyond in Patreon. That's kind of used as a tip jar. If you want to support the channel and everything that we do here with our DraftKings videos, Patreon is the way to do it. That is down in the description below. Saturday night, Sunday morning, we give you our top 10 quarterback rankings. We give you either our running backs or wide receiver rankings, as well as late bloomers through the week, injury diagnosis for a lot of the key players, and weather concerns. And lastly, I think what everyone loves is our starting five. We typically give you the two lineups that we're interested in playing, and that's typically a quarterback paired with a wide receiver, a run back, and then a giant player pool of people that we're considering throwing into our lineups for the weekend. So if that is something that interests you, patreon.com/allaccess, that is all down in the description below, and you can be in there with us, and thank you for your support. Michael Gallup at $5,100 against the Washington Commanders. Now, again, this is pending his health. He says he feels good. He says he was okay to go last week in week 3. They were just holding him out for some mental preparedness because he just wasn't ready. He only had 2 or 3 fully padded practices under his belt. Now he has a week and a half. He's probably going to be on a snap count. We might be a little too early on him. It might be week 5 before he really gets his wheels turning. But Dallas is going to have to do something on that offense. And what better defense to do it against than the Washington Commanders, who have looked not great this year, as well as their offense has been kind of stagnant, which means more increased opportunities for the Cowboys offense to have the ball. Yes, it is Cooper Rush. I don't think Cooper Rush is lost. And it doesn't start this week. Cowboys are going to win this one. Michael Gallup, I'm hoping, can find himself into the end zone or at least be on the receiving end of a couple catches. And I know if you've been paying attention all week, I'm not the first to say it. Romeo Doubs at $4,500 against New England. He exploded last week with 8 targets when he was given the opportunity with a lot of injuries, and a lot of those injuries are continuing over to this week. Some people are saying he's the new wide receiver 1. I like that idea. I would love that to be true. But let's let all the wide receivers be healthy before we start crowning Romeo Doubs the next Davante Adams. At $4,500, this is an excellent price point to get him, because if you're only looking at trying to get 3 times his value, you only need 13 to 16 points, right? That's easily within his realm of possibility. Are you a believer in the Jacksonville Jaguars yet? Be honest, are you a believer? In the offense? Yeah, I absolutely am. I think their offensive scheme so far has been magnificent. Now you go up against a Philadelphia Eagles team that has one of the best defenses in the league. Darius Slay probably going to be up with Christian Kirk. The defense is going to be strong up front, which means he's going to be relying on Travis Etienne, Zay Jones, and Evan Ingram to distribute the ball, in my opinion. At $4,200, worth a shot. If you're looking for someone that is dirt cheap and you can't even afford Romeo Doubs, Zay Jones could be a nice little pivot for you in an offense that's going to need to score points because Philadelphia is going to put up points. And the Jaguars are going to be throwing the ball. Zay Jones, $4,200 against the Eagles, I really like, but who I love even more is Richie James Jr. at $4,000 against the Chicago Bears. A terrible Chicago Bears team who's decent on defense, but a terrible team. There's a ton of wide receiver health issues. I know you've seen it. Sterling Shepard, done for the year, unfortunately. Kadarius Toney, still not healthy / in the doghouse. Wan'Dale Robinson's been dealing with his issues. It's just a mess out there in New York right now. I wish them the best. If there are opportunities for the wide receiver, I think Richie James is going to get the bulk of those. If not him, it's going to be David Sills. But Bradley, what about Kenny Golladay? Pass. All right, now you see him as the cover boy, not because I think he's the best play, but just because he's the most handsome. DJ Moore at $5,400 against Arizona. And you could be asking yourself, Bradley, are you sure the same DJ Moore that doesn't have 100 yards receiving on the season, if not now, when? Arizona Cardinals have been absolutely torched by many quarterbacks. They're going to be focused on Christian McCaffrey. I mean, who wouldn't? DJ Moore. This is your chance. This is your last chance to win over the hearts of millions of DraftKings players all over the world. You're averaging 7.9 DraftKings points per game without getting a touchdown and only having a handful of receptions on the year. A lot of the press conferences this week, Matt Rule put emphasis on the wide receivers getting open and doing a better job. It's a very serious week for the wide receivers to be involved. I look for the passing game to continue to improve as it has done week by week by week. At $5,400, if you're willing to take a shot, this is probably the cheapest you'll get DJ Moore, so it's probably the best value that you'll get out of him. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to break the slate, okay? Flip side, Zach Ertz, $4,700 against the Carolina Panthers. The linebackers of the Panthers do struggle in coverage. There is no way to avoid that discussion. They are terrible in coverage at times. AJ Green appears to be out, so you're going to be looking for some more people to get involved. Do we like some of the Cardinals' weapons that they already have? Absolutely. Greg Dortch, still an option. Zach Ertz is someone that I don't think a lot of people are talking about, and if you want one of those cheaper tight ends at $4,700, not a bad bargain. Who I like even more is Tyler Conklin at $3,600 versus Pittsburgh. If you saw my first video of the year for best ball drafts and who you can get late rounds, Tyler Conklin was on there. He's averaging 8 targets a game in one of the highest passing offenses in the league, and now you go up against a team that is 22nd defensively against the pass. I know you heard me already talk about Garrett Wilson. Tyler Conklin has to be in that same discussion. At $3,600 below the league minimum for what you can get for a running back, I'll take my chances with Tyler Conklin to get 10 points. He almost gets there in receptions alone so far. 8 receptions gets you 8 points, and you're already looking at 2 times your value. Even if he only had 5 receptions or 4 receptions, at that point, 4 receptions, 25 yards, you get 6 to 7 points. If I'm only spending $3,600, I'm okay with just not getting 0. That's going to do it for our Sleepers video for week 4 of the NFL season. I appreciate you watching. Again, if you've made it this far in the video, please give a thumbs up and comment down below who will score the most points on the week 4 main slate and how many. So if you think that Buffalo Bills Baltimore Ravens game is going to be off the charts, busy, popping touchdown after touchdown, put it down in the comments below. Stephon Diggs, 32 points. Just need the whole number. I don't need the decimal points. Don't tell me Stephon Diggs, 32.3. Now you're getting a little too out of hand. I want you to at least have a chance. So give me the top scoring player and how many points they will get to the whole number. One correct entry of all correct guesses will win a Millionaire Maker ticket funded by Allaqcess. I know it's a little bit later than normal. Hurricane Ian's kind of messed up my entire schedule, work, family, just all sorts of things happening this week, but we do have it out. And again, patreon.com/allaccess. That is down in the description below. We'll get that out to you tomorrow morning so we can have the latest on the NFL weather situation. I appreciate you watching. Good luck, and hopefully the next time that I see you is in the DraftKings green.